If you have any preconceptions about Chinese-made products, thinking they are all rather shitty, please be prepared to have those assumptions challenged. And if you believe that all German products are well made, then I am going to bust that outdated assumption too. What I am reviewing today is the Measall KC761 gamma ray spectrometer, a Chinese product that is easily one of the best products available of this type. From the moment I held this product in my hands, I knew that this was a serious measuring instrument, and not just a science toy. I have always told myself that I would never do an unboxing video, yet here I am, opening a fucking box in a video. The first thing that you find when opening the box is a printed instruction manual and a calibration certificate. There is just something reassuring about finding a nicely printed calibration certificate with a piece of instrumentation. Yes, I know, it's just a piece of paper, but they bothered to include it and even had it printed on custom watermarked, heavyweight paper. Then there is the actual instrument. These spare rubber covers are also a nice touch, and I will explain what these are used for later. There is also a keychain screwdriver included, that allows the battery cover to be opened. I have found this to be so useful, that it is now a permanent addition to my keychain. And finally, there is a standard lanyard. The first thing to say about this product is that it is actually two products in one. It has a cesium iodide scintillation detector, which is used for gamma ray spectroscopy. It also has a pin photodiode based alpha and beta particle spectrometer. Whilst it is not a feature, the build quality of this product is fantastic. It is a robust device that will not easily be damaged and has a waterproofing rating of IP65. This thing is strong enough that I do not worry, even if my young children play with it. Looking under the waterproof cover, we can see the connectors. There is a USB Type-C power connector, a micro SD card for storing spectrum and dose rate data. There is also Ethernet connectivity, and this one has power over Ethernet capabilities. This means that using a single Ethernet cable, data can be continuously collected from the device, and it can be permanently powered. This product might have consumer-level pricing, but it sure has a lot of industrial capabilities included. And finally, there is also a headphone socket, so you can listen to the particle counts without disturbing anyone else. Do you remember those spare rubber covers? These are to allow the power or network to be permanently connected. The installer can custom cut the spare rubber covers to match the connectors used, and thus maintain the water and dust proofing of the product. This device also has Bluetooth and Wi-Fi wireless connectivity. Sometimes, it is all of the little things that just add up to make a nice product. The KC761 also has a smartphone application for both Android and iOS, which connects via Bluetooth. The application can display the spectrum data from the gamma scintillation detector, but weirdly, cannot display the pin diode spectrum. That said, both sets of data can be saved to the micro SD card in CSV format, as can the dose rate historical data from both detectors. This application is missing a lot of the features that you can find on other products, such as the radio code 102. Please see the link above for my review of that excellent product. There is also a couple of features that I feel are also worth mentioning. It has both a power-off key and replaceable batteries. But isn't that the same for all similar products? I mean, what kind of a piece of shit product would not have a power key and replaceable batteries? Of course, I nearly forgot. My favorite product in the whole world, the fucking Gamma Scout Geiger counter. A product that has no off-key, uses a non-rechargeable battery, which is soldered to the PCB. But that's okay, after all, the company only charges €75 to replace it. How nice. You would have to be both very brave, and very smart, to try and replace the battery by yourself. Here, we can see one of my YouTube heroes, Brainiac75, very carefully changing the battery of the Gamma Scout. The reason that he is being so careful, is that it cannot be switched off, and this part here has about 500 volts applied to it. Let's see how he handles the pressure.
Cut the blue wire.
Well done, Brian. We are all very proud of you. Anyway, that was far too much time wasted on discussing a shitty product. Let's get on with testing this rather good detector. One of the most challenging tests for any detector is to get a good baseline for the levels of background radiation. So let's see what this device can achieve. For the first series of tests, I want to test the cesium iodide scintillation crystal first. Once I establish a reasonable background level, I will test with a high-level thorium-232 source, an americium-241 emitter and then a natural uranium source. The background levels at this location, measured by this device, are very similar to what I get when using other detectors. I am using a new, higher intensity, thorium-232 test source. This is made from the broken parts of negative ion pendants, which measure at over 70 times background levels. I am in the process of making a video about these snake oil products, so keep an eye out for that. The activity levels that this device measures are quite close to the readings I get from my other instruments. In the spectrometer data, we can see the clear peaks associated with a thorium decay chain. Next, I am going to measure an americium-241 source from the ionization chamber of a smoke detector. The activity levels are exactly as I expect, and the characteristic double peak of americium-241 is clearly visible in the energy spectrum. Next, I am going to measure a piece of natural uranium ore. I found this rock on a family trip to an old uranium mine in China. There is a video about our radioactive rock hunting trip, linked here above. When detecting for the presence of uranium-238, we are normally needing to look for its decay chain, daughter product, which is radium-226. In the energy spectrum, we can clearly see this decay chain, and the numerous decay isotopes. Next, I am going to demonstrate the operation of the PIN diode detector. The sensitivity of this detector is pretty low, compared to the scintillation detector, but it does have some interesting potential applications. This detector is located on the back of the product. I don't yet know enough about the energy spectra that is created by this detector, and how to interpret these results. But, given the complex radionuclide decay chains involved, it is clear that I will have to invest some time to learn more about this fascinating subject. I suspect that I might have to employ some Monte Carlo analysis to better interpret the results. That said, it is clear that the three sources generated unique energy spectra. So, How does this device compare to the Radia Code 102 product in terms of spectral resolution, accuracy and sensitivity? I conducted an experiment using a thorium-232 source on both of these devices, to try and find out. Normally, this measurement will be conducted using a cesium-137 test source, but I don't have one of those, so I am going to need to make some assumptions and calculate some corrections to the data that I have collected. Here you can see the results of my testing. Each of these products has some performance advantages and disadvantages when compared to the other, but overall, I would say that these products generally perform equally well as each other. This product is jam-packed with features, so pour yourself a drink, and get ready for a serious teardown. In my experience, well-designed and manufactured products are, given the correct tools, a real pleasure to disassemble. It is the crap ones that need to use self-tapping screws and adhesives. Here we can see the scintillation detector module. Next to this is a location for a spare module. In the product manual, it is mentioned that there will be a future option to add a neutron detector module in this location. That's right. A fucking neutron detector. Within the guts of this robust little device, there is a lot of hardware packed away inside. Let's take a more detailed look at what is inside this awesome little detector. At the heart of this product is a dual-core ESP32 MCU with its 32 MB memory. Ethernet functionality is provided via a dedicated chipset. This also allows the Power over Ethernet capability. The SD card driver includes a level shifter, meaning that the device can also support older 3-volt only cards. This is great, as it means I can reuse some of the old SD cards that I have hanging around in my desk drawer. There is a temperature and pressure sensor, and these appear to be for the purpose of compensating the detector for different ambient conditions. Then there is the analog board. This is the actual business end of the radiation detection process. The sensitive circuits that are used in the detectors need to be separated from the noisy digital signals. Underneath the analog board is the pin photodiode module, and the electrical noise isolation requirements are even more severe for this component. And finally, there is the battery board. This is used to protect the product from the batteries being inserted the wrong way around. The analog board itself is a fairly complex component. Although only one scintillation detector is fitted to the product, all of the circuitry required for both has been fully fitted. Both connectors for the detector modules are present, as are their respective high-speed analog to digital converters. There are 3 ultra-low noise power supplies, one for each of the potential scintillation detectors, and one for the pin photodiode circuits. There is also a dedicated MCU just to support the acquisition process, and this also acts as the analog to digital converter for the pin diode detector. Finally, there are the connectors for the headphone and the USB power. The pin photodiode circuit needs extreme levels of noise isolation, and so it has been separated onto its own PCB. The large area photodiode doesn't have any glass window fitted, and so the die is totally exposed via the mylar window on the back of the product. There is a low noise amplifier module, which is totally enclosed in a screened can to reduce noise on this ultra-sensitive component. The pulses generated by particle effects need to be specially shaped to ensure that the energy spectrum data is preserved, and this is done using pole zero filters. Finally, there is the photodiode cathode power supply. And now, finally, we have reached the very core of the product, the actual scintillation detector module. I wasn't brave enough to actually disassemble this part, but I have managed to get a very clear picture of what is inside this, from various documents that are freely available on the manufacturer's website. The main component is the cesium iodide scintillation crystal. This is 2.5 times larger than the one used in the Radio Code product, and explains why this device is so much more sensitive than its competitor. The KC721 uses a pair of silicon photomultipliers to convert the tiny flashes of light that occur in the scintillation crystal into electrical energy. For comparison, the Radio Code product only has a single module. Next, there is the analog front-end circuits for the photomultipliers. Finally, there is a memory device that is used to hold the calibration coefficients for the sensor. Because the calibrations are held in the sensor module can be switched between devices, without this crucial data being lost. I once compared the design aesthetics of the Radio Code device to that of a blood glucose monitor. Well, nobody is going to compare this product with that kind of watered-down design language. This product has a very brutalist, functional design, with some subtle softening elements. It feels like it is saying to me, leave me the fuck alone, whilst I'm busy. My job is to keep you alive, so please stop complaining about my taste in fashion. When I hold this device in my hand, it feels like I am holding a serious piece of equipment. But when I hold the Radio Code device, it feels like I might have a serious case of diabetes. Another positive aspect of this product is the nice solid buttons. These are both responsive and have a strong tactile feel. I really hate it when product designers decide to save a few cents of cost and use horrid membrane switches. Besides which, membrane switches look so 1980s. Just listen to the creaky old Gamma Scout keys.
Let's have a quick yours.
Yuck.
I can see the response time is quite slow, but it still works. Put it like this. The buttons are really working good now.
I would also like to talk about the user interface for this product. This is without doubt the worst aspect of the product design. Why the hell does this device need 12 keys? The Radio Code gets by with just 3, and their menu system is far easier to navigate. I have used the KC761 for over a month now, and I still struggle to find some of the basic settings. Despite having non-volatile memory, some of the settings do not get retained when the unit is switched off, so I find myself having to go through a very boring setup process each time I switch the unit on. In summary, this product has a fucking awful user interface. The construction of this device is really solid. The case is made from injection molded, glass reinforced polymer. The product has 22 screws, and every single one uses a brass threaded insert that has been molded into the casing. This is not exactly a cheap way to make a product casing, but the team at Measall clearly think it is worth it. And I tend to agree with their design choices. This attention to quality is also obvious in the waterproofing. All of the mating surfaces have O-ring seals included. Before summarizing the pros and cons of this product, I just want to discuss the pricing. For some context, I will compare this to the Radio Code 102. For this discussion, I have converted everything into US dollars. I bought my device in China, on Measall's Taobao store. When converting the pricing to dollars, it works out as being $30 cheaper than the Radio Code product. However, if you buy this device from Measall's international store, the price is significantly higher. This means that if you buy from overseas, you will be paying $47 more for this than you will for the Radio Code product. Okay, let's discuss the best features of this product. For a start, there is the fact that this device has two separate detectors included. This is a unique feature amongst the products that I have seen in this price range. Next is the sensitivity of the detector. It is about 2.5 times more sensitive to gamma rays than the Radiocode product. And finally, there is the incredible build quality. This product costs half as much as the Gamma Scout but has a quality level more than 10 times higher than that product could ever claim to have. Okay, next it is time to look at the negative aspects of this product. For starters, there is the horrible user interface. I do hope that the company gets this message and releases new firmware that has a new UI, one that wasn't designed by software engineers. Next, there is the low functionality of the smartphone application. Compared to the Radiocode device, it feels really basic. And finally, there is the complete absence of a PC application. The engineers have gone to the trouble to include Wi-Fi and Ethernet, and without a PC application, that feels like a wasted effort. So, I am going to award this product 4 stars out of 5. This could have been a 5-star product, if it were not for the fucking awful user interface. So there we have it, the Measall KC761. Sometimes, I wonder if I am being a little too hard on the Gamma Scout product in my videos. I like to think that I am capable of challenging my own assumptions, so I will make the following offer to the CEO of that company, Dr. George Miro, to perform a full review of their product. If you send me one of your products for review, I will make the following promises. First, that I will perform a comprehensive review, and try to be as unbiased as possible, whilst appraising the product. Secondly, I will take the product on our next family field trip, to search for natural uranium, and that your product will also get a feature in that video too. And finally, I promise that in the review video I will not use the phrase, "piece of shit." Creating videos, like this one, takes considerable investment in time and effort, so I do not make this offer lightly. I await your response, sir. Anyway, that is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed my little video, or at least found some parts of it interesting. If you want to see more of this kind of video, you could always press the subscribe button. This is not a commercial channel, nor will it ever be, so I can say what I want, and YouTube's algorithm can go and get f***ed. Thank you for your time.